feeling uncreative, uninspired, and unmotivated, then boy, have I got the solution for you. But first, you gotta hear me out, because you're not gonna like it. Trust me, it was a fight with myself to finally do it. My brains did something along the lines of, "What? No! You can't make me! Don't make me do it! Please!" And it might be the same for you, so let's get to it.
I hope you're listening because I'm going to drop some cold, hard truth on you. Using the super secret, nobody knows this strategy to turn your creativity from itty bitty spark to spectacle. Or however the Fortnite YouTubers get you hooked on a video. I'm a recovered addict, so I wouldn't know anymore. But basically, the strategy is literally just to put yourself into a situation where you can only do two things. You could either be creative and give your brain that opportunity to do so without so many distractions, or you could do nothing, be bored. I mean, the strategy makes so much sense when you really think about it, because, our brains are constantly getting distracted by something. Webtoons, anime, tic-tac, Skibbity Toilet, Subway Surfers gameplay, all that stuff to try to keep your mind busy. But when you're creating, that comes to you as a detriment. So, when you're in the creative space, maybe don't put on music. Maybe don't watch anime in the background, because it's your brain trying to figure out what to focus on more and what's more important. And because of that, it basically just relays stuff that you've already consumed. It's like, oh, this was a good idea in this one show or whatever, so let's just copy that. Put that into your creative project. And that's why I find a lot of earlier creatives just basically, copy and do nothing else unique with it, because they don't really know what the difference between like learning and applying concepts from certain pieces of media and turning them into their own thing in an effective way without contrasting with the overall themes of a story or a character or any of that.
And of course, this won't be the end all and be all. There's going to be a ton of other issues that you have to tackle and overcome as an artist. It could be issues of confidence, you not feeling like your creations are good enough. It can be issues of not trusting yourself, thinking, I don't think this really works here, when it really does. Like sometimes, you just need a second opinion from other people. But you will all figure that out over time. For me personally, though, my biggest issue was just, going from always being stimulated, always having like music playing in the background, anime playing in the background, video games that have really good plot lines, and I try to apply them to things. Like, it is such a ridiculous amount of things that all come together to make one big issue. So if you solve this issue, it helps a lot. Because for me personally, I started with things that usually took me days to finish. But after pivoting to fully focusing on just that one thing instead of multitasking, playing music in the background, then not liking a song and then skipping it, or watching an anime, not liking, like the first 5 minutes of filler, thanks My Hero, and going there and then skipping it, and then I get out of my creative flow and it's a whole thing. But solving those little things add up over time, and then it'll make everything else easier. There is 100% a reason that at night you are your most creative, for most people at least. Or let's say like while you're on a walk, because you're not constantly being stimulated. Your brain isn't going 100 miles per hour all the time. You're not always distracting yourself. You're letting your mind go wild. You're not making excuses not to think. So your brain takes all the feelings, all the concepts, ideas you've had, and in addition to everything else you've consumed, and then putting it all together turning it from a brainstorm to something tangible that you can use finally. And it really helps. So let's say you're trying to write a story or make a character or, trying to try something new with voice acting or whatever you're doing as your creative endeavor. If you are constantly bombarding yourself with other people's content, for me personally, I've been watching Glee. Guilty!
I'm not homophobic.
And, if you're scrolling through TikToks all the time, listening to Joe Rogan, your mind is going to become so cluttered with other people's thoughts and feelings and ideas on things that the mental overload overshadows everything else. Like, it doesn't matter how much you value your own opinions. Your brain, it doesn't really have a choice when it's getting more of other people's ideas than they are of yourself. Like, it makes it so much harder to come up with new ideas or solutions for complex problems. Like, I'll give you a real life example that happened to me very recently. I was reading such a ridiculous amount of My Hero Academia because it was ending. Don't worry, I won't spoil it for the 5 of you that still read My Hero. But around the same time, I was trying to start my manga. So, for around a week, it took me to finish my entire chapter. Once I finished My Hero, gave myself a few days to comprehend it. I took a little break from the manga too. And when I came back to the manga, I realized I literally copied My Hero. It was so embarrassing because everything that I'd been building up for 19 years, like my style, my writing style, my paneling, my dialogue, it's literally all My Hero now. Bruh. And I didn't realize it in the moment because I didn't give myself time to process what I was doing. So once I realized that I have to separate myself from everything. No music, no manga, no anime. Whenever I'm about to get into a creative flow. And I decided I wanted to rewrite my first chapter and actually dedicate to my own thoughts and opinions that I've wanted to express for so long. So I gave it all my attention, and when I was finished, and I finished this in only 4 hours, something that took me weeks, multiple dedications of time, because I was so distracted. And when I finished that chapter, I was so happy with it because it genuinely felt like I made it. It didn't feel like half of it was me, half of it was someone else. I took risks that I wouldn't have if I was distracted or if I was comparing myself to whatever manga I was reading at the time. So I pushed myself out of my box, my comfortable little box, and I tried a lot of new things, and I think it really worked out for the better. So, I definitely recommend, not getting distracted. Timothy, what are you doing, man? You know what? I respect the hustle. Someone's clearly been watching Sam Sulik. We watched together.
I've never been pregnant.
Now, don't get it twisted. I still think that you should be consuming as much content as you think is necessary. You do need some inspiration. I'm not, saying that you don't need inspiration. Everybody does. But just try to find that perfect balance. Maybe don't watch movies for 6 days a week and then only create for one. Try to find that perfect balance of you and the story you're trying to create and the ideas that someone else made and you're trying to incorporate. Did you see how I rhymed there? I've been getting pretty good at that, eh? Because you want to be known as an innovator rather than an Sorry, I was trying to do that accent. Couldn't do it. Diabolical. You want to be known as an innovator instead of an imitator. That's what it was. The key is balance. keep working at it. Make sure that your voice is being heard, but you're also making a love letter to everything that inspired you. So don't just push one way or the, well, I guess you can make it as creative as you want, as much you as you want. This is your project. But yeah, just don't lean too much into inspiration and nothing else, because that's basically just being an AI. And if you're someone who's thinking, I don't have the self-control necessary to, just not to do anything, I'm going to get distracted, Well, I have the perfect solution for you. I can't do it. I have the perfect solution for you, and I can speak to this. So actually, a few days before I started recording this video, it was actually partially my inspiration. I went out with this friend, and we just decided to take our computers and just type away and do the writing that we've been wanting to do for a while. But just when we're alone, it's kind of hard to do that. So we did that, and I can actually show you the result. Timothy got taste. Sorry, Timothy, I'm gonna have to take this. No, sorry, but I'm gonna have to take this, buddy. It's okay. I'll show you. In around 4 hours, I accomplished 11 pages worth of writing. Something like this would have taken me months of passively working on. So, I could definitely speak to it. That's really all it takes. Just keep someone there that can keep you reliable, that you're comfortable with. And as long as they're doing something else that's productive, like homework, or maybe the same thing, like you, trying to commit to a creative endeavor, I definitely recommend. So, thank you so much for watching all the way through. Timothy and I appreciate it, so we can finally pay our rent. And I hope you have a great day, and stay cool.